apes. We are 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee. We're closer to chimps than chimps are to gorillas. We left our common ancestor about 6 million years ago. We have the same life cycle as any other animal, which is our parents mate, we're born, we grow, we mate, our parents die, all our friends die, and then we die. Now, my 7-year-old niece didn't like hearing that, right? But I said, you've got to look. I said, stop crying. I said, you're 7, you know, today. So... any more grizzling and this party's cancelled. So let's take the first of those, right? Birth. It's already an odd one for humanity because the human being is born before the end of its natural gestation period. And by that, I mean, because of our evolution, our brain is so big, we have to get that huge head out early. That's why the skull is in parts and supple, right? And then we have to carry on gestating outside the womb. That's why we're so useless. Compare us to other mammals, right? A giraffe is walking along, it goes, oh, I'm proper pregnant, right? I'm gonna have a baby giraffe right here, right? Yeah. There it is. See you later, right? And the baby goes, Mum, can I get a... It's got to be fucking ready, right? We're helpless, right? Just think of that, right? 9 months, we're just growing in this perfect environment, just like that. Just everything's... It's like being a little Kate Bush video, right? And then suddenly, and you're being squeezed out of an hole near an arse. You're covered in shit, they're screaming, you go, I can't breathe. Someone goes, yes, you fucking can, right? That's the first 1 second of life on Earth. You don't know where you are, you can't choose where you're born. I was born in a place called Whitley Estate in Reading, right? Yeah, no, I wouldn't have chosen that. I'd have chosen Hampstead. I did choose Hampstead, it just took me 45 years to be able to afford it, right? Very different, my upbringing, you know. 2, kids are scroungers, aren't they? I mean, from day one, it's all me, isn't it? Feed me, clothe me, pay for my chemotherapy. No. Not my problem, son. Not my... Luck of the draw, boy. Luck of the draw. It costs the average household in the West $200,000 to bring up a child, right? And you don't see that back. They don't want to pay you back. They're not grateful. They don't go, oh, thanks for having me every day. They go, I didn't want to be born, right? Even if they get a top job, right, which they won't, okay? You'll never see that money back, right? They just put you in a home, okay? And my kid, he'd be born into ridiculous wealth, wouldn't he? So, he'd be a little cunt. A little Hampstead cunt. Running around with all the other fucking little Hampstead cunts. Being all Hampstead and cunty. I'm a little Hampstead cunt. Yes, I know, yeah. These are my little cunty friends. Yeah, I know, it's obvious. Well, I can tell from your little fucking cunty hats that you're little Hampstead cunts, you little posh Hampstead. And on the one hand, he'd know he was a little fucking Hampstead cunt. I'm a little Hampstead cunt. Yes, we know, everyone knows, right? He'd know that, right? And on the other hand, he'd know that he could never live up to being as brilliant as his dad, right? I'd say, you know, I worked my way up from nothing and I gave it to you and you're just a little useless Hampstead cunt. You go, yeah, and that would probably prey on his little mind a bit, wouldn't it? Like 11, 12, he'd sort of be a naughty boy, run with the wrong crowd, try and get out from under my shadow, right? And then he'd turn to drugs, and about 13, he'd come home and he'd overdose on my Afghan rug. 20 grand, that was, right? And as he was there, right, convulsing and throwing up his fucking lungs, right? And with his little posh, high-pitched fucking death rattle, right? In little fucking dying words, he'd go, do you love me now, Daddy? No, I never did, and that's why you're never going to be born, you useless fucking junkie Hampstead cunt. And 3, I'd worry sick about him. No, I would. I've only got a cat at the moment, and I worry sick about her. I check the door 3 times when I go out, so, you know, she doesn't escape. I put food and water in every room in case the door's shut and she's peckish for 20 minutes. Right? A human baby, oh my God, the responsibility of a human life. I'd watch it sleep. You know, we've said how weak and vulnerable they are. It's like, oh my God, you perfect little thing. You, oh, flesh of my flesh. Go to sleep in your expensive cot. Oh, night, night, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs. Oh, dead. Yeah. Just... Why? Why is it dead? It's just fucking dead. Look. Fuck's sake. Fucking hell. What a fucking waste of time that was. Fuck's sake. Embarrassing. Jane? What? Come here. I'm in the shower. Come here. What? Fucking dead already. I just fucking hell, Jane. You call that a baby? That is... If Jane was out, I'd have to text her, wouldn't I? What could you... Baby's dead. She'd come back, whoop, what the fuck? I go, yep. Forget the Pampers, lol. No, but even if it made it through the terrifying cot years, right? And then it was a toddler running around head height to my antique tables with their sharp edges. I'd have to pad them so it didn't run into it and fucking cave its head in and die. And then the social services come round. They say, is this your child, Miss Gervais? And I go, yeah. And they go, what happened here then? I go, it's a fucking idiot. I did think of adopting for a while, a little third world child, because that would tick all 3 boxes, wouldn't it? You know? You think of it like, 1, right? I wouldn't be adding to the population problem. I'd be alleviating an existing problem. A young kid born through no fault of his own into abject poverty. He would have died without me. I can literally save his life and give him a great upbringing, right? 2, he would be grateful, wouldn't he? He'd want to pay me back, wouldn't he? Particularly if I let him know that all the other kids in the village, they weren't so lucky. They didn't make it out. All right? I'd tell him that early on, so he really bucked his ideas up, right? I'd go, Tundi, come here. Come here. Yeah. Go and pop a shirt on. You're not in Africa now, mate. Yeah. That's better. Yeah. Tundi, yeah. Water straight out of a tap, innit? Yes. Yeah. No, it's not free. It's Hampstead. There's a little, you know, but... Yeah, of course it's safe. Safe, fresh drinking water. Have as much as you want. Have a bucket full. Straight out of that fresh drinking water. There you go. Go and clean the car. Go on. No, I go, look, do you remember your friends in the village back in Africa? Yeah, they're all dead. Because a rich man didn't save them and bring them to Hampstead, so... Do you want to pay me back? Yeah, I bet you do, right? And the good thing about them is they can start work when they're about 6. I just call up Nike and I go, do you still make your stuff in sweatshops? Got a great little worker here, yeah. £1 a day's fine. He's got to start somewhere. Yeah, brilliant, right? And 3, if he ran round and caved his head in and died and the social services came round and said, is this your child, Miss Gervais? I'd go, does it look like mine? I'd go, this is Hampstead, it's obviously broken in, mate. That's why I don't have kids. 2 plums in a sock, right? I don't know when it happened, but it was recently, right? And this is how I found out, right? So as I've been getting older, and they've been secretly stretching away, right? As I've been getting older, I've been getting richer, so my baths have been getting more and more luxurious, right? And last year, I moved into a new house in Hampstead, right? I had a big bath, put in a big sunken bath. Oh, south-facing windows. I was in there, like, the first night. Like, oh, lovely bath. Sun streaming in, classical music on. I thought, this is the life. I looked down, and they're floating, right? Now, I'd never dreamt that testicles would float. They seem like they'd be heavy, don't they? You could tie things down with them. They'd sit, do you know what I mean? And most people never see there. Like in the sea, you've got trunks on. In a shower, they dangle. And baths aren't usually that deep. And that was my first thought. Oh, my God, I never thought testicles would float, right? And then my second thought kicked in, which was, hold on, this bath's 2 feet deep, right? And I'm sitting on the bottom, and they're at the top. What is going on? And I looked, and my testicles are now longer than my penis, right? Easily, by some way, right? In fact, they'd created like a little fleshy sort of life raft, right? My penis was dry, just nestled, just floating on top, like that. Just bouncing around. I should have given it a little whistle. No, but I'm just looking at this thing, this is bizarre, fucking hell, right? And I thought maybe it's a fluke. So to test it, I held them under the water for a minute, and I let them go, and they bobbed up. They're really buoyant, right? So you try it when you get home, if you're in your 50s, right? And a man, obviously. Or Caitlyn Jenner. And you think you've got away with it. You haven't. Everyone knows immediately. My brain knows a wig has come into the room before I do, right? I could be at a party or something, and it'll go, there's a wig in here. I'll go, is there? Yes, there is. Yeah. Spidey senses for the wig. It's sort of a little bit of the way they smile at you like there's nothing wrong. Telltale signs, isn't there? I was put off wigs for life, though, by my Uncle Reginald. A great bloke. He's dead now. Died a few years ago, right? I was only little, right? But he went bald in his 20s, tragically bald. I mean, he started to go bald and his hair fell out. It might have been something. It might have been alopecia or something. I don't know. But he was bald for 10 years, into his 30s, right? Turns up one day at our house, Elvis. What is... like... And I remember I was about 8, and I said to Auntie Edna, what happened to Uncle Reginald's hair? And she went, it was a miracle. They were lying. They were just hushing. It was ridiculous. Everyone knew he was bald, right? But he'd embroiled his family in on the lie, so they had to lie as well. They're going, yeah, it just grew back. Yeah, it's amazing, right? And there's so many things he wouldn't do because he was terrified of the wig coming off, right? We weren't allowed balloons at parties, right? Auntie Edna said, yeah, Reg is allergic to balloons. He wasn't allergic to balloons. He was terrified one of us kids would rub one on our sweater, right? And his wig would fly across the room. We've got photos of him in the family album, right? And if he's at a wedding or a christening and he's holding a baby, he's always holding it at arm's length, like that. So he can't grab his wig. It must have been on his mind all the time, right? It was the only thing he feared, that wig coming off in public, and this ridiculous lie being exposed. He was in the army, he was hard as nails, wasn't scared of anyone or anything, spiders, snakes, roads, wasn't scared of cancer. How's the chemo going, Uncle? Not a problem. We got a photo of him, and the last year, I think, he was 75, yeah, must have been his last year he was alive, right? And it was a hot day, and he was in the garden in his little trunks, right? And he was a wizened little man by then, and white chest hair, jet black wig still. Died in it, buried in it. He's wearing it now. A little skeleton with jet black hair, right? Like Posh Spice for eternity, right? But I knew all that was going to happen. I knew I was going to get old and fat and ill and blind and deaf and shit myself and be pushed around in a fucking bucket, right? But you're ready for that because you're warned. You know everything about getting old, right? Well, one thing they don't talk about, and so you're not prepared, and it was a shock to me, right? I only found out about it recently, and I'm going to share it with you now. The distending testicles. I didn't see. You don't know about it, right? But it happens in your 50s, right? I wasn't checking them or anything, but I didn't see them for 20 years, right? But all I know is, as a young man, they were pert, and now they're like two plums in a sock, right? I don't know when it happened, but it was recently, right? They just, and this is how I found out, right? So as I've been getting older, and they've been secretly stretching away, right? As I've been getting older, I've been getting richer, so my baths have been getting more and more luxurious, right? And last year, I moved into a new house in Hampstead, right? I had a big bath, put in a big sunken bath. Oh, south-facing windows. I was in there, like, the first night. Like, oh, lovely bath. Sun streaming in, classical music on. I thought, this is the life. I looked down, and they're floating, right? Now, I'd never dreamt that testicles would float. They seem like they'd be heavy, don't they? You could tie things down with them. They'd sit, do you know what I mean? And most people never see there. Like in the sea, you've got trunks on. In a shower, they dangle. And baths aren't usually that deep. And that was my first thought. Oh, my God, I never thought testicles would float, right? And then my second thought kicked in, which was, hold on, this bath's 2 feet deep, right? And I'm sitting on the bottom, and they're at the top. What is going on? And I looked, and my testicles are now longer than my penis, right? Easily, by some way, right? In fact, they'd created like a little fleshy sort of life raft, right? My penis was dry, just nestled, just floating on top, like that. Just bouncing around. I should have given it a little whistle. No, but I'm just looking at this thing, this is bizarre, fucking hell, right? And I thought maybe it's a fluke. So to test it, I held them under the water for a minute, and I let them go, and they bobbed up. They're really buoyant, right? So you try it when you get home, if you're in your 50s, right? And a man, obviously. Or Caitlyn Jenner. For medicine. And now it's going the other way a little bit. The last couple of years, just a little blip maybe, right? And I'm not saying this just because I'm old, because that does happen. Old people say things like, oh, everything was better when I was a kid. Well, of course it was, you were a kid. Everything's better when you're a kid, right? Being old is the shit bit. Whatever's happening in the world, being old is the... I wake up these days and I go, oh, fuck, I didn't die. Right? Got to do it all again. I'm usually hungover, headache, liver pains. I can't walk for the first 5 minutes because I've got no joints in the knees, right? I'm getting fat again now, right? Now, I was thin till I was about 28, like proper skinny, like 9.5 stone, right? Then I got a job, right? And the next sort of 20 years were what I call my eating years, right? And I just got steadily fatter and fatter till I reached a peak of unwellness and blobbiness when I was about 48 years old. And it was one Christmas, I was at home, lying on the floor, right? And I was saying to Jane, I'm having a heart attack, right? And honestly, my heart rate was like 130. I felt nauseous. I had palpitations. I was sweating because I'd eaten 11 sausages. True story, right? I was like one of them snakes. You know when you see a big, like, python swallow a pig whole, and then it's just fucked. It's just like, for a week, it's like a duffel bag, just there. That was me, right? And obviously I wasn't having a heart attack, but it worried Jane. She said, you've got to start looking after yourself. I thought, yeah, you're right, 48. So I started working out, right? I started working out every single day. I didn't give anything up, right? I don't eat meat anymore, but I was having like 2,500 calories, 3,000 calories a day, including wine every night, right? But I burnt it off the next day. Just so I could do all that, I worked out for an hour and a half every day, running, weight training. I had more time on my hands than the average person. I had a gym built in my house. I had no excuse. And I lost about 20 pounds, and it was great. But now, I still eat and drink too much, right? But I physically can't burn off the calories. I can't do enough because I'm so old and broken and tired. So I'm going to get steadily fatter and fatter again. And this time, I am going to die. Directly overhead, and the mirror, it looks like an X-ray, right? I'm gonna have to buzz that off soon. I'd never wear a wig. Oh my God. Guys, if you wear a wig or a toupee and you think you've got away with it, you haven't. Everyone knows. Everyone knows immediately. My brain knows a wig has come into the room before I do, right? I could be at a party or something and it'll go, there's a wig in here. I go, is there? Yes, there is. Yeah. Spidey senses for the wig. It's only the little bit of the way they smile at you like there's nothing wrong. Telltale signs, isn't there? I was put off wigs for life, though, by my Uncle Reginald. A great bloke. He's dead now. Died a few years ago, right? I was only little, right? But he went bald in his 20s, tragically bald. I mean, he started going bald and his hair fell out. It might have been something. It might have been alopecia or something. I don't know. But he was bald for 10 years, into his 30s, right? Turns up one day at our house, Elvis. What is... like... And I remember I was about 8, and I said to Auntie Edna, what happened to Uncle Reginald's hair? And she went, it was a miracle. They were lying. They were just hushing. It was everyone knew he was bald, right? But he'd embroiled his family in on the lie, so they had to lie as well. They're going, yeah, it just grew back. Yeah, it's amazing, right? And there's so many things he wouldn't do because he was terrified of the wig coming off, right? We weren't allowed balloons at parties, right? Auntie Edna said, yeah, Reg is allergic to balloons. He wasn't allergic to balloons. He was terrified one of us kids would rub one on our sweater, right? And his wig would fly across the room. We've got photos of him in the family album, right? And if he's at a wedding or a christening and he's holding a baby, he's always holding it at arm's length, like that. So he can't grab his wig. It must have been on his mind all the time, right? It was the only thing he feared, that wig coming off in public, and this ridiculous lie being exposed. He was in the army, he was hard as nails, wasn't scared of anyone or anything, spiders, snakes, roads, wasn't scared of cancer. How's the chemo going, Uncle? Not a problem. We got a photo of him, the last year, I think. He was 75. Yeah, must have been his last year he was alive, right? And it was a hot day, and he was in the garden in his little trunks, right? And he was a wizened little man by then, and white chest hair, jet black wig still. Died in it, buried in it. He's wearing it now. A little skeleton with jet black hair, right? Like Posh Spice for eternity, right? The show. I hope no one was offended. No, I really do, because that's never the point. I've always wanted people to know they can laugh at bad things without being bad people. And I think it's my upbringing. As I say, I grew up in poverty with nothing, right? But the point was to pay your way, then have a laugh. That was the men. The women carried on working, obviously. But it was my older brother, Bob, who was about 11 years older than me, and it was him who I first saw making these dark jokes right in the bad situation. While the bad things were happening, he was making jokes about it, and people were laughing, and I realised, oh, he's healing them. That's what comedy's for. That's what humour's for. It gets us over bad stuff, right? Typical Bob story. He once spent an hour in the pound shop in Hayling Island just asking the cashier how much everything was. Just to see if he could break this poor man's will. Right? And Bob was the first person I saw answer back to authority, and the first authority you come across are your parents, right? And he'd have an argument, he'd get in trouble, he'd get sent to bed, right? But I thought, no, he won the argument, though, right? And he teased my mum, and... So my mum was a typical working class woman, I think, in that, as I say, we lived in a shitty area, right? And most of the houses had a bit of mud and a stolen bike and fence posts missing. She mended the fence, she turfed the garden herself, she painted the step, because she thought, if it looked respectable, we'd be respectable. So it was about reputation, I guess. And so Bob would send her postcards that just read, is that paedophile postman still reading your mail? And she'd take it and she'd go in and she'd be horrified. And she'd call Bob and go, Bob, he saw it this time. You've got to stop doing that. Even at her funeral, My mum died first, and my dad carried on for a year or so, just drinking beer in the garden, and he went, right? But for my mum's funeral, we sort of split up into different duties. I went and did sort of catering and flowers, and Bob went to see the local vicar. That was a mistake, right? We'd never been to church. He didn't know us. We didn't know him. So he just said to Bob, tell me about your mum so I can say a few words. And Bob saw that as an opportunity, right? So Bob, with a straight face, said to him, well, she was a keen racist. And the vicar went, oh, I can't say that. Bob went, OK, but she liked gardening, right? And he was trying to get something past the vicar, so the vicar would say something and make us laugh in church. He didn't warn us, right? And he did get something by the vicar. So we're called Ricky, Robert, Bob, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Larry. Now, Larry is the oldest. He's in his 70s, born in the war, right? I've always thought he was the sensible one, OK? I suppose firstborn, weight of the world on his shoulders. In fact, my mum told me that when he was a teenager, he got a job and he gave her the money to bring up the rest of us, to help out, right? So he's a stand-up guy, Larry, right? So Bob gives the vicar the wrong name. Didn't warn us. We're all in church, right? Start of the funeral, we're all there, right? Packed out, right? The coffin comes down, guided by the vicar, the coffin gets down. The vicar goes to his pulpit, all confident with his little notes, right? And he goes, Eva leaves behind 4 loving children, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Barry. And we snort like that, right? Bob sort of goes, looks around. Everyone realised what's that. We were all fucking laughing. We see Larry go, right? And the church is like, every time we thought of it, we'd see Larry go, right. And then it would just start giggling, just fits and fucking giggles, right? And then Larry eventually sort of started doing this, right? And the vicar's thinking, what have I said, right? And he put in a few little things that the vicar wouldn't know about that he said would set us off again, just things that were just lies or just slightly wrong. And my niece and nephew started crying, and I'd come prepared, right, with a little packet of those tissues. I was giving them those, and they were taking one and handing it on. But before the funeral, I'd taken all the tissues out, written on them, carefully folded them back and put them in. So they were putting out a tissue and it said, snivelling fucking bitch, right? And they're sort of laughing, right? So it was like a madhouse, right? Everything the vicar said or did, we all started just fucking laughing, right? And you could see the vicar was visibly sort of shook a little bit, right? And he ended the funeral and he made a beeline over for me and Bob, right? And he came and said, sorry, was that okay? And me and Bob went, it was fucking brilliant, mate. It was fucking brilliant, mate. And that's what I'm talking about. We're all going to die. So we should have a laugh, because if you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof, okay? And me and my brother Bob had one simple rule, and that was, if you think of something funny, you've got to say it, right? Win, lose, or draw, right? It might go well. It might go badly, but you've got to say it. And bear that in mind as I leave you with this. Right. So, we're all in the car one day, right? Bob's driving, right? Packed in this car, going for a little day trip to the beach, right? And we get stopped, a little security check, right? And there's a British Bobby there, like that, and he just stops the car. Bob winds down the window, he said, where are we off to then? Bob went, Bognor. Right? He went, can you just pop the boot, please? So he looks there. Looks in the boot like that, yeah. Goes back up to Bob's window, gets that mirror on a stick thing, and he starts just looking under the car like that. And as he does that, his helmet falls off, right? And out of the helmet falls a packet of 20 cigarettes. And the copper just went, oh, but that's fine. It's fine. They won't cancel me for that. I mean, they've been trying to cancel me for about 15 years, and they've always failed. And often the people trying to cancel me have been other comedians, writing for the posh papers, doing that thing they always say, he's punching down. Well, comedy should punch up. We only punch up. We punch up. Their idea of punching up, they have a go at Boris Johnson. how the fuck is that punching up? You know, the cunt is learning disabled. He's like this fucking waterlogged Gary Busey, fucking albino Eggman thing. He can't string a sentence together. Have you heard him talk? He's like, he's a fucking moron. That I punch up, I have a go at people like, I don't know, Stephen Hawking, right? Yes, the greatest brain that's ever lived. He can take it. And he wouldn't even have minded when he was alive, because he's part robot, isn't he? I think he's basically a talking chair, so you can say what you want. And he was on Epstein's Island, apparently, so fuck him. I don't... What was he doing there? Why do I want to go? Why? Why do I? You're like just there doing fuck. I would go. What? I know pedos who'd kill for a ticket to that, and he's just taking up a space. It's probably DEI or something, and they go, we need one. Like, I'll go. What are you doing here, Steve? He go, I'm thinking weird shit. Fuck off. That is probably a hate crime. That is. It's a big buzzword at the moment, isn't it? Hate crime. Whatever happens, someone always goes, oh, was it a hate crime? Why? Makes it so much worse. Does it? Why? If I was just walking home tonight and someone randomly jumped me, beat me up, mugged me, stabbed me, threw acid in my face, I wake up in intensive care, beep, beep, beep. I open my eyes through the bandages. There's a policeman. He goes, Miss Gervais? I go, yeah. He goes, we just want to let you know it wasn't a hate crime. I go, oh, thank God for that. It's pretty hateful, isn't it? But no, a hate crime is something that's based on your race, disability, sexuality. So a guy with a gun, he wants to kill someone at random. He sees a crowd. He goes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, bang, kills someone, dead. He goes to court. The judge goes, why did you kill that person? He goes, no reason. The judge goes, so you're not a bigot? He goes, oh no. The judge goes, ah. 10 years. Some other guy's got a gun. He goes, I fucking hate dwarves. Right? He sees a little dwarf. He takes aim, bang, kills the dwarf dead. Right? He goes to court. The judge goes, why did you kill that dwarf? He goes, because I hate the little cunts. Right? The judge goes, you're a bigot. 20 years. Now, he shouldn't get more for shooting a dwarf. If anything, it's a harder shot, isn't it? If I was that judge, I'd go, what, you shot a dwarf at 100 metres, yeah? Fucking props, that is 5 years in the army. Get him in the army. I feel bad about that joke, because I was reading about the tough time dwarves have had through history. Like, in medieval times, they used to torture them and kill them. They used to put them in barrels with spikes and roll them down the hill for a laugh, right? And then in Victorian times, they'd stick them in the circus and make them do dangerous fucking things. And then as late as the 1980s, right, I remember colleges used to have events like dwarf throwing, where they were like darts on a thing, or dwarf bowling, and eventually someone said, what the fuck are we doing? Can we stop making dwarves do shit for our entertainment? And it stopped, and now it's back. Now they're in the Special Olympics. Now they've got, yeah, they're going, let's race them, and yeah, let's throw them in the water and see if they can swim. They can, so... It needs a bit of work, that one, doesn't it? I don't know. People don't realise how much goes into one of these tours. My last tour, I did 60 new material nights, then I did like 25 work-in-progress shows, then I did an 85-day arena tour around the world, honing it all the time. One critic sat at his kitchen table, said, lazy. He called me immature and vulgar. Four-eyed cunt. I'm at that age now where everything annoys me. I say this once a day. I go, why don't things just fucking work? Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, the remote control for the TV, working fine. Go back to it. What's happened in the last fucking 10 seconds? What? The phone signal where I live in Hampstead is shit. I walk around the mansion going, can you hear me now? And if you make a phone call in the lovely cobbled streets of Hampstead, you can have 5 bars, having a chat, lovely. Well, you go one step in the wrong direction. Do you know why the phone signal's so shit in Hampstead? Because everyone's posh there. And no one wants one of those pylons in their garden because they look shit and give you cancer. But I've said to the council, let's find a blind person who's already got cancer. Put it in their garden. Don't even fucking tell them. Don't even... But never mind inanimate objects, people annoy me the most. Oh, I say this once a day as well. I go, there's always someone who fucking ruins it. Do you know? Like, we were on a flight to San Francisco a while ago, me and Jane, right? We took off, right? First class, seatbelt signs, ding, drinks are served, lovely. Then this woman, about 2 rows back, she gets out her laptop, she starts banging out something really important. She's wearing fucking bangles. They're like smashing it's driving me... It sounded like fucking Morris dancing, right? It was driving me... But I know it's not illegal, you know, I can't go about bangle police, so I just have to suffer in silence and hope we crash. That is how I get over things now. If someone's really annoying me, I just sort of stare at them and I just imagine us both dead one day. And it's sort of... Like here I was thinking, oh, imagine the pilot going, oh, we're going down, the plane was going down, right, we're going to die. And I look over it and she's going, ah, and I go, and then the plane just smashes into a mountain and we're all fucking burnt. But I live 1 second long enough just to look over and see her totally fucked. Whatever gets you through, you know? So we got to San Francisco and we went on a little day trip. We went to this place called Sausalito, this lovely little harbour town. We're walking around sightseeing, but about 11 a.m, because of the jet lag, we were starving. We thought, oh, we need lunch. So we found this restaurant that was open at 11 a.m, empty, of course, which is my idea of a perfect restaurant, empty, right? We sat by the window, we were looking out over the bay. There was a sea lion bobbing round, a pelican landed. The waiter brings our food. Then suddenly, in all that peace and perfection, out of the kitchen doors comes a busboy, and he just stands in this empty restaurant, and he goes... I looked at him, I looked at Jane. Jane didn't even look up. She just went, nothing we can do. Like that. So I'm all alone, right? And the sweat starts. I just get a sweat, right? I go, okay, he's going to do it again, he's going to do it again. Sure enough, I bang my fork against the plate and I just look at him like that. And Jane goes, he doesn't know why you're staring at him. I go, I want him to know. I want him to go, you okay? I go, not really. You know, you keep doing that, right? Jane goes, for heaven's sake, he's a busboy. He's at work. Let's just eat and go. So meal ruined, right? And I wasn't allowed to do anything, right? So this is how I got through the last 10 minutes of that meal. It's absolutely true, right? I'm eating. Every time I went, cunt! That is what you get. That is what you get. I did want this show to be more highbrow than this. Joking aside, I think this is my most honest and confessional show so far. Not in a Edinburgh Fringe type way. I mean, oh, my parents died, so I went all autistic. None of that shit, right? My parents did die, but I'm pretty sure I'm not autistic, because once someone gave me a Rubik's Cube and I put it straight in the fucking bin. I think that is the test. No, it's called Mortality, but it's a positive show, I think, and I want to tell you some of the things I've learned and what it's like to be me at this age, and because I'm getting old now. See that silence for the first year. Up until this year, I go, I'm getting old. People go, you're not old. Now they go, go on. Like that. It's like, in fact, they make it worse. They say things like, oh, yeah, but the good thing about getting old is you don't care what people think about you. Well, you should care a bit, because caring what people think about you is what stops you walking around with shit down your trousers. Right? Oh, look at Grandad. Look, he doesn't care what people think about him. No, he's wanking at a wedding. He doesn't, no. But as I say, it's a positive show, because it's not all doom and gloom, getting older. There's good and bad to getting old. There really is. There's good and bad to getting old. For example, yes, there's more chance now of me having a heart attack, having a stroke, getting cancer, but much less chance now of me ever being raped in prison. You Yeah. So when I was a young man, I thought, fuck, I could never go to jail. Not with this cute ass, right? But now, I'd be pretty confident I'd be left alone. You know, like, I'd go down the corridor, my first day, with a little towel, just whistle along, right? They'd all come to the bars and go, ooh. You know what I mean? Like, I'd spend as much time as I wanted in the shower. No one's even looking, not a sniff, nothing. The big danger for me these days, bending over in a prison shower, would be my back going, right? And just sort of crumpling to the floor and have to be helped to my bunk by two big gay rapists. And they just put me down naked and leave. And I go, lads, before you go, I've done my shouldering. Can you little tug? Right? And they go, nah. I go, what do you mean, no? You're literally gay rapists. They go, we're not monsters. I'd also be a bit more confident these days going to jail because I've got a bit of cash. I reckon I could buy my way out of danger. Do you know what I mean? Like the first day I'd go, right, who's in charge? Who's Mr. Big? And they go, Chopper Harris, D-Wing, right? I go, so I'll go and see Chopper and I go, right. I said, right, I'm in for a year. There's £1 million waiting for you if you make sure no one beats me up, steals my food, no one so much as fingers me. I've never said that before. I've never... Chopper would be like, there's no foreplay in jail, mate. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay, shush. Thank you. Honestly, I'm overwhelmed, but shush. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome to the show. It's great to be back with a brand new special. My last special only dropped on Netflix the Christmas before last. And in that special, I talked about the previous special going to #1 because of all the complaints. And the silly cunts did it again. When will they learn? It's like, honestly, it's like, ban it from the #1 everywhere. My name, like, trended for 3 days that Christmas. I wasn't the only comedian who trended that Christmas. Do you know the comedian Rosie Jones? She's got cerebral palsy, and she was on a TV quiz show, and the trolls came out on Twitter. They go, she's not funny. People saying, you're only saying that because she's disabled. You're only defending her because she's disabled. Sort of back and forth, right? But that wasn't her biggest controversy of the year. This is a true story. Earlier that year, Rosie Jones made a documentary for Channel 4 about her condition, her plight, some of the trolling she gets, some of the insults she gets called, right? And she provocatively called the documentary, Am I a Retard? Yeah, great. Power to her, right? Now, the people who complained were disability campaigners. They had a go at her. They went, you can't use that word. She went, what? Why? I said, because you're physically disabled. That's a derogatory term for people with mental disabilities. If you want to use a derogatory term, you should use one that describes your particular condition. So basically, Rosie Jones said, am I a retard? And disability campaigners said, no, you're a spastic. That's harsh, isn't it? I mean, it's context. She was using it to empower people. She was called that. She didn't go, no, that's not me. She sort of embraced it and, you know, reclaimed the word. So disability campaigners are saying, no, you've got to be very specific, right? Only people who are actually retarded can use the word retard, right? But who's going to tell them? You know what I mean? Who's going to... You're not going to go into a room and there's Bubba sort of lying on the floor, crying in, right? And you go, all right, Bubba. He goes, yeah. Oh, no. No. It's a tightrope. He goes, yeah. You go, you know you can say retard. Why? Think, you thick cunt. Just think. Anyway, I think she should be allowed to use the word in context. Like, if she can't use the word, then I've used the word now, so I'm in trouble again. Actually, I didn't use the word, did I? This is a point I want to make. People say, oh, he used the word so-and-so. I didn't use the word. Using the word would be calling someone that word. That's using the word, isn't it? I said the word in a discussion about the fucking word. That should be allowed, shouldn't it, amongst adults? And if there's one thing we should all agree on, whatever side of the political fence you're on, we should all agree that free speech is still a really good thing. It always has been. And it always will be. But now there's factions of people go, oh no, we got it, we don't like it, we've changed our mind, it wasn't going well for us, we don't like free speech anymore. People who want free speech, they only want free speech so they can go around saying awful things, which just isn't true. And even if it was, the good thing about free speech is people can say awful things back. It's a really good system, right? And you can't say anything under the laws of free speech. That's a total misconception. There are loads of caveats to free speech, all of which I agree with, actually. You can't incite violence. Good rule. You can't slander people. Good rule. You can't libel people, you know? Fascinating fact about libel law. You can't libel the dead. So I could stand here and say, Gandhi used to take it up the arse. If I wanted. Which I do. But free speech is the most important human right there is. It's the right from which all other rights come. Without free speech, you couldn't have human rights, you know, and we've got free speech, in theory, in this country, for a little while longer. We can criticise the government, we can criticise the police, but we should give props to a country that allows us to do that, because we're the envy of some countries. In some countries, you criticise the police, you get beaten up, or worse, you criticise the government, you can be thrown in jail for life, you know, so they flee their oppression, quite rightly, you know, so would you. They flee their oppression, and they come here, they go, we want to come to England. We go, why? They go, free speech. We go, come on in, welcome. What are you going to do now? We're going to go on a march. What are you going to say? How shit England is. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. That is their right. But I'm too old now not to say what I want, you know. I want to say and do what I want all the time. I want to do my favourite thing all the time. I don't even like doing my second favourite thing if I think I could be doing my favourite thing. Do you know what I mean? Like my favourite thing is play tennis. I play every Friday. I keep Fridays free. I look forward to it. I play tennis. It sets me up for the week. So if ever on a Friday I have to do my second favourite thing, like 3 weeks ago, attend a neighbour's kid's funeral, I'm like, this is boring. But we all want respect, right? We all want respect, and we all want to raise our status in society. We can't help that. That's in our evolution. That's groups elected from when gossip used to control the tribes, right? And there's still two ways you can raise your status in society. One, be competent at something, like, oh, he's a good hunter, go with him, he's good for the tribe. The other way you can raise your status is have virtue, like, oh, he's not a great hunter, but he's wise or kind or whatever, you know. And then with the advent of social media, people suddenly discovered they could just say they were virtuous, no evidence, no proof, just loads of flags in their bio, right? And they would raise their status by bringing other people down, catching other people out. Oh, look what he said. Oh, he's not as virtuous. Look how good I am. Look how bad. And that's where the term virtue signalling comes from, right? And I hate when they bring their kids into it. You can believe what you want, have opinions what you want, vote how you want, but go on a march, great. But when I see a 5-year-old holding a placard, he doesn't know what that says. That's the adult, you know. Like I saw someone tweet this once. Someone tweeted, my 4-year-old just looked up at me and said, Mummy, why does Rishi Sunak hate poor people? Never fucking happened, right? But the most annoying thing about virtue signalling is it's people being smug about having the morality of the age. You're what you're like because of where you are and when you are. Like, it's not brave of me to be an atheist in this country, in this year. It would have been brave 200 years ago, or mental. And it'll be brave in some other countries, or mental, right? But people say things like, oh, I'm anti-racist. Yeah, well done. We all are. We know that's the way to be now, but it wouldn't have always been. Well, if you'd have been born in a different place or time, maybe you wouldn't. They go, no, I'd been anti-racist whenever I was born. Well, people say things like, they go, oh yeah, I'd have definitely hidden Anne Frank. Would you? Would you? Anne Frank comes to your door in the war, right, you open it, right? There's Nazis everywhere, right? She goes, can I hide in here? You go, what up? Just facepalm Dan Frank, like that. Whoa, wait. What happens if they find you? They murder me and you. Go next door. They've got a lovely big attic, they've got a typewriter, you're gonna... But I'm anti-racist, of course I am. But I'm willing to admit that if I'd have been born 300 years ago and I was white and wealthy, I'd have probably have owned slaves. Because I'd been nice to them, so shut up, right? I'd be the best slave owner you've ever fucking... No, I'd dress mine well, I'd dress my slave... Yeah, I would. I'd dress mine in little suits, right? I'd go throw those dungarees away, put a little suit on her. All the other slaves look at it, I go, you fuck... And I go, right, let's go to the pub, boys, right? And all the white people go, you can't take your slaves to the pub. I go, fuck you, fascist. They're my slaves, I'll do what the fuck I want with them. We go in the pub, the barman will go, you can't bring them in here. I go, fuck, we're going to the saloon bar as well. We got little suits on it. I go, you look good in your suits, boys. Wear socks. We wear socks. I go, I'm buying the drinks, put your money away. You haven't got any money, but you know what I mean? And then we just go having a laugh, teasing each other, just bants. Like, if one of them got a bit too familiar, I would have to punish him. Just to keep the status quo. If he called me gammon or something. Which is the only racial slur allowed now, isn't it? That's fine. You can call a white person a gammon. It's fine for some reason. You can even be ageist. You go, you fucking old gammon. And it's totally acceptable for some reason. But I'm going to reclaim the word. You know, like black people have reclaimed the N-word, I'm going to reclaim the word gammon. So I'm going to be in Carluccio's in Hampstead, right? With all my white friends. And we'd just be hanging going, how you doing, McGammon? Right? If our black friend, Rupert, I said it was Hampstead, if Rupert came in and went, McGammon, I go, you don't fucking use that word. My point is, morality evolves, it moves with the times like everything else. Just think of that. In a few generations, we've gone from owning slaves, being legal and respectable in the eyes of God, to a racist being the lowest of the low, isn't he? A racist is the worst person in society these days. Actually, a paedophile is the worst. It goes paedophile, then racist. A racist paedophile is the worst If I met a racist paedophile, I'd go, fuck the little black ones too, you bigot. You know? I've interviewed people on my radio show in America, right? And I always ask that question for a laugh. And they all say, oh, I'd go back and kill Hitler. I go, you know, people tried at the time. And now they say, oh, no, I'd go back and kill him when he was a little baby. So you'd go back and find baby Hitler, right? Who hasn't done anything wrong yet. And just strangle him, would you? Also, have you seen Hitler when he was a baby? Oh, my God, absolutely adorable. Look at that. Look at his little face. You go back, you want to kill him, and you go, is that Hitler? Yeah, oh, you go, oh, could you little Nazi, you. I know what you're thinking. Why have I got a picture of baby Hitler on my phone? That's my business. What if I do masturbate over it? What if that's the only thing I masturbate over? There's no victim, no crime. You could call the police right now, have them come round to my house, and they go around and say, oh, we heard you admitted you're a nonce. I go, yeah, but only for pictures of dead baby Hitler, right? I go, check the rule book. And they go, yeah, good as gold. Right? I go, do you want to see where I masturbate? They go, yeah, go on, right? So I take them down to the Wanktorium, right? It's basically a converted wine cellar, right? But it's that picture blown up 100 times, right? Just around the walls, like that. Dripping with 40 years of cum. I've only lived there 5 years, so I don't know. That won't be in. No, but people do have a problem with Hitler. And they want to go back and kill him. And I say, chill. I say, Hitler is the man who killed Hitler, isn't he? Give him his due. Due. D-U-E. I don't worry about dying. Or rather, I don't worry about being dead, because I won't know about it. That is the best thing about being dead. You don't know about it. It's the same as being stupid, right? It's only painful for others, right? I worry about how I die. I don't want to die alone in agony, or I don't want to be found in a wardrobe hanging by a belt wearing ladies' tights covered in amyl nitrate. You know what I mean? I'm not into that shit. So if I am found like that, just know that one of my mates has stitched me up, right? No, I don't worry about dying. I don't do anything towards not dying, if you know what I mean. I eat and drink too much every day. I've done for 40 years. Day and night, I eat and drink too much. People say to me, Rick, if you gave up the booze, you'd live an extra 10 years. And I go, yeah, but they're the last 10 years. They're the shit 10 years. I don't want them, right? If I gave up booze now and I made this to 80, and someone said, right, you can have an extra 10 years. If I could go, oh, great, I'll have 20 to 30. Okay, that'd be perfect. But no, you've got to have 80 to 90. Have you any idea how awful it is being 90, right? I've seen 90-year-olds sitting in an armchair and they suddenly go, ugh, and you go, what? You go, I've broken every bone in my body, right? Because they're brittle. They've got, like, dust for blood. They bruise up, blood clots. They got hernias popping out everywhere, right? If you're 90 years old and you get to the kitchen by yourself to make a cup of tea, if you lift that kettle when it's too full, there's a very good chance your stomach will come out of your arsehole, right? So eat and drink as much as you want and just fucking die is my advice, right? Thank you. I should say I'm not a doctor, right? I do see a doctor once a year or once every 2 years after I've medicals for things like this and TV shows, and I go private, right? It's 600 quid. It's 3 hours long, but they do everything. Blood sample, stool sample, urine sample, ECG, ear, nose, throat, bollocks, the finger, everything, right? And you have to fill out this big form, right, a lifestyle thing. That takes fucking ages, right? And I tell the truth on everything, except units of alcohol. I work those out, then I halve them, right? And when he gets to those, he still goes, oh, that's an awful lot, right? And I think I've won. I go, is it? And at the end of the 3 hours, they've got all the results back from the lab, right? And he's got this big computer, it's like a body composition, right? And from there, they work out your percentage chance of a stroke, heart attack in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. And mine's always about the same. It always gets worse with age, nothing you do about that. But I'm always like, I'm at the end of healthy weight. I'm just nearly obese. I'm just right, like that. I was pre-diabetic once. I had to sort that out. And now I'm pre-gout, right? Pre-gout, right? And so he tells you all that, and then he goes, so what are we going to do about this? And I want to go, what do you mean, we? I've just paid you 600 quid, mate, right? You're going to fix it, and I'm going to carry on, right? You don't take a car to the garage and he goes, oh, tyres are bald, the big end's gone. What are we going to do? You're going to fix it, mate, and I'm going to pay you. He went once and said, you need more fibre in your diet. I went to go, get me wine with fibre in it then. You know what I mean? I can afford anything. You must be able to invent that. Just don't. He said, you're heavily constipated. I wanted to go, get in there with a spoon, son. And then they always leave it right to the end. They don't even look up. They go, and can I give you a rectal exam? Which means I have to go, yes, please. I want to surprise me on the way out. Do you know what I mean? Bye. Oh, and that's fine. Thank you, right? But there's a big build-up, right? And as they're washing their hands, they've got to say, would you like a chaperone? No. So you're going to have your finger up my arse, and now you've got a mate watching? No, just do it. And they lay you on this bench, right, on your back to start with, like pants and trousers around your ankle, knees apart like a little frog, right? And they do the balls first, right? And I'm nervous, a doctor, I'm really nervous, so I've got no balls, right? he has to dig them out like a tortoise's head. You know what I mean? It's just like a little fist of fear down there, right? And I fucking hate it. I go, like that, right? It's horrible, right? And then when they turn you on the side and lube you up, go the finger up the arse, that's great, you know. Not great, that's not why I go, but it's... me again, you were here yesterday, come on. But this one time, it was an old man, and it was still a doctor, not just an old man. Doctor said he couldn't make it, so I thought I'd have a go, right? There was a sort of like old school GP, he was about 75, little shirt and tie, tweed jacket, right? And he was sitting on an armchair, right? And he didn't put me on the bench, I was just standing up. And he went, oh, just pop your pants and trousers down, right? So he was a little like that, so he was like head height to my balls, right? And as I say, I'm nervous, doctor, so I jabber, I talk. I think if I put them off, they won't find the cancer. You know what I mean? Right? And so he started doing the balls like that, and I just went, oh, what are you looking for there exactly, right? And they usually go, shh, like that, and they come. And he didn't, he went, oh, that's a good question. And he sat back, and he started telling me all about cancer, right? So now I'm just having a chat, right? And he went on for ages, he was loving it, right? And I remember it felt rude to do that. So I was going, all right. I do work out a bit. I actually joined a gym. Literally on my road, I discovered. I've got a gym in my house, I got bored with that. But I thought, if I join a gym, if I pay in advance, like pay a year in advance, right, then I'll try and get value for money and that'll make me go. Then I remembered, oh, I'm fucking rich. It doesn't, you know what I mean? I could join a different gym every day for a laugh. Just go along and go, there's £2,000. They go, see you tomorrow. I go, you'll never see me again. And I go about once a month and I sort of do 10 minutes on the machines and I sort of run home like that, right? I don't use the changing rooms there. I've got a thing about changing rooms, public changing rooms. I always have I know, I'll tell you why. I don't know if it's the same in ladies' changing rooms, but men are so proud of their offal, right? If I'm in a public place, I have a shower, right? 1 minute, towel, corner, pants on, right? There's blokes walking around naked before the shower, talking to each other, like that, after the shower. There was one bloke in the shower, way too long, right? It took ages, right? And he got out, no towel, just dripping wet, just went up to the mirror and started doing his hair first. I was in there there was just me and this really fat bloke once in the change room. I was getting changed, and he was there, and he was really big, like 350 pounds, right? And he was naked on one of those precision scales. And he was there for fucking ages, like that. And I was looking at that, right? He was like that for ages. I wanted to run over and go, mate, you're never going to be an astronaut, right? It doesn't need to be this accurate. Just pop some pants on and take a fucking gram off. And I'm not having a go at fat people. I say, I'm fat, I'm overweight. Do you know why? Because I eat and drink too much. That's what does it. I don't judge fat people, I just know how they got fat. If I see a fat person, I go, well done, you know? You've eaten way more than you'll ever need, same as me, right? If I see a fat couple, I go, yeah, that works, right? But then as they're walking along, right, and you see their little fat toddlers, and you go, ah, that's not fair, right? And the mother always goes, they love cake. Of course they love cake. They're baby mammals. We're the same species as we were like 200,000 years ago. We've got a hunter-gatherer brain, right? All this affluence is so much faster than our human biology. So when you get one of those cakes from the supermarket that's packed with fats and sugar, your brain goes, fucking hell, that's amazing. Keep eating that. There might not be food tomorrow. But there will be food tomorrow. The fridge is full and your mum's on the phone to Ocado. You know what I mean? And now there's even a stigma, like doctors get in trouble for saying to someone, you're overweight or obese. They go, no, that's a political thing. No, it's like fat shaming. It's not fat, you don't get cancer shaming. He's trying to save your life, right? There was a school that tried to ban the word obese because they said it was derogatory to, I don't know what to call them, round children, right? But that's the polite word. That's the word we invented, so we didn't say fat little fucker. Don't keep changing words because one person gets offended. Also, fat people aren't offended by the word obese. They did it all. They're happy with it. They're jolly, aren't they? They're jolly. You know, you see a fat person go, all right, fatty. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Blub, blub, blub. yeah. And they go to the doctor. Come in. Doctor goes, fuck me. Oh, am I obese? No, you're morbidly obese. What does that mean? Means you're going to die of it. Oh, does it? All right. What, straight away or? No. You've got diabetes, so you're having your legs amputated soon. And then if you carry on, you'll die later with like stroke and respiratory heart failure. So, all right. Is there anything I can do? Oh, yeah, of course there is. You could start working out and eat healthy, you'll be right as rain. Oh, right. But you won't, will you? No. And I feel sorry for them, even though it's their fault. When you see one of those documentaries on telly, like the 600-pound man or something, and he's being winched out of his house to go to hospital, right? If you're dangling from a crane, right? And you see a film crew, right? You know you fucked it. And then, you know, as I say, then they wake up the next day and they've had their legs amputated. It's really sad, and they're crying and I'm crying. They're going, oh, God, why did I let it go this far? I'm so stupid. Then they get philosophical about it and they go, I never really used the legs. So... And by then it's lunchtime, and so, you know... And they go to the nurse, you didn't throw them legs away, did you? Guys, do you ever act more working class around builders? I do. I can be walking around Leafy Hampstead, right? Book of poems, right? Scarf, right? Just humming Brahms, right?